today for making fabulous Superduo earrings. And this class is recorded, so there will be a replay that you can watch. It will be posted. I see them come up as early as the evening, but for sure by tomorrow or the next day. It'll be on micheals.com/classes. You can go watch it and catch up on anything you missed from here today. And we're going to have everybody on mute just so that we can hear, so you guys can hear me. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat room and we'll do our best to answer them. Okay, and so before we get started, I was going to just give a quick intro to the project and to all the projects for this month. We're just going to have a ton of fun with Superduos, which are very versatile beads, really fun beads. And there are a bunch of new colors out at Micheals. You see them in these tubes. And we're also going to be using size 6 seed beads. And size 10 seed beads are what I'm using today. They are a little bit bigger than a size 11, but I'm also going to be on the camera, so I want you guys to be able to see them. But I was asked by several people, can I use 11s? And yeah, you can use 11s. And I'll show you when we get to the part where we use these beads, how to add a couple beads so that it'll be about the same as a 10. So yeah, go ahead and use 11s if that's what you've got, but size 10s are what I'm using today. And Superduo 2 colors and size 6 seed beads. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch down to my other camera so you guys can see a little bit more of the project. All right. So the first version of the earring looks like this. And this is just one fan. And toward the end, I'll show you guys how to do 2 or 3 fans. Those are the ones I was wearing. So you can go from everyday to statement and absolutely make these in any color that you would like to make them in. And another question I was asked is, do I need to use 2 colors? No, you can make them all solid color. You can make 3 colors of Superduos. Today I'll be using 2 just for some contrast and interest, but again, you can really mix it up and make it your own. There is a PDF, a project diagram, that's going to be in the chat room, and we'll also be able to get it to you after class if there's any trouble getting it in the chat room for downloading. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started so we can have lots of time to get through all of the steps here. So what you see on my mat are 2 different colors of Superduos. This is Apollo Gold, and this is the matte metallic blue. And I've got a mix of size 6 seed beads. That's called Rusty Blues Mix. It's really gorgeous. I'm not 100% sure what color I'm going to use at the bottom yet. I'll have you guys help me decide. But it has a nice blue in there, it has copper, it has some topaz, and some gold. And I'm not going to get out the 10s yet because we're going to use those at the end. The thread and the needles, I'm using Wildfire 0.06 and size 10 hard beading needles. You could also use a 12 here, and I'm going to talk about that when we get going in the part where we're weaving in. The Superduos do really great with the 12 if you can get the Wildfire threaded. It's possible. We've done it. It's easier with a 10 than a size 12 needle. But if you can get the thread into the 12, it might make maneuvering through those Superduos just a little bit easier. All right, so thread length. This is not a project that uses a lot of thread. You don't need much. I think in the description I put probably 36 inches. That's my standard. But a wingspan, so an arm's length plus half of your other arm, will do great for measuring that. Go ahead and cut here. Those were these are precision scissors. Okay. And a trick for threading the needle with Wildfire is to go ahead and flatten it with your hand. Use your fingernail. You can even use chainless pliers to flatten it. And it'll go through the needle just a little bit easier that way. And if you're having any trouble getting it through one side, try turning it to the other side. the needle. Okay, I'm pulling that down about 7 inches or so, folding it over. All right, and so I'm going to pick up one seed bead to start, one size 6 seed bead, and then I'm going to string 9 Superduo beads. So I'm going to move these out of the way because we won't need those till the end. I'm going to pick up 9 Superduos. When you're first stringing, it doesn't matter which hole. These are the same top and bottom. 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so I should have 9 on there. I'm going to check my math. Okay. And so here's a trick to going back through. We're going to need to go through these twice to form a ring. And what I do is I leave them in a straight line first, and then just go back through all of them. And it's a little tricky. You can get there. Okay, so I went back through them all. And I'm going to pull tight. And now I'm going to go through the size 6 again. And maybe the first couple of beads. So we're going to go through that ring one more time. And I wanted to mention also that I will do this twice. So you guys are going to get a chance to see it again. Okay. So here's the first step done. This is step 1. 9 Superduo beads and a size 6 seed bead joined through the center. And what I'm doing now is continue to go through the rest of this and exit the last Superduo. So I am currently using a size 10 beading needle. And because we're not too tight yet, it's going through just fine. When we get on the second row, what you see is, I'll show you a trick to maneuvering through Superduos. For right now, it should be pretty easy. Okay, and going through the last 2 here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to jump in and ask them in the chat. And I'm really good with answering them while I'm working. It's no problem.
Danielle, it's Carmi from John Bead.
Hey.
The one question you did get was how much thread did you cut?
About 36 inches, but because I'm on camera, I cut a shorter length. I found that I have a lot of thread left over with 36 inches. So you could even go a little less. You could go with, I don't know, 28 or 30, but no more than 36. 36 would be plenty.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so I just went through all of those again. And now I'm exiting. This is my tail thread here. I'll be sure you guys can tell them apart. This is the tail thread I started with. I'm just setting that aside right now, ignoring it as best we can. It gets in the way a little bit, but just gonna tuck it off camera there. This is my working thread. I'm exiting from this Superduo, the inside hole, the hole that's on the inside of the ring. I'm gonna turn and go through the outside hole in the opposite direction. Already through, yeah, so you will go through, and I'll go through this a second time, but you only want to go through the second one at this spot. Sorry, trying to answer that question there. All right, so there's row 1. Now go ahead and pick up 1 Superduo. In the pattern, I'm going with the same color for the second ring. For this one, I'm going to go with a different color so you can see the different rows. But in the pattern, you would stick with your first color for this one if you were following that. Just to show you what I mean here. We're doing this part now, adding these. You could do that in the same color. I'm switching colors so you'll be able to tell row 1, row 2, and row 3. Okay, so this is just picking up 1 seed bead, going through the top hole of the next Superduo. Pick up 1 more Superduo bead, and then go through the top hole of the next one. And pick up another. Go through the next. And what I'm doing here, I'm actually using my finger to hold it flat. Just helps a little bit with getting it to, you know, stay put. These are still a little bit loose. Okay, there's one more. I'm not sure how well the color is coming across over the internet, Miles, but this color is really pretty together. I took my inspiration from the Rusty Blues mix to combine the Apollo Gold, which is this color here, with the matte metallic blue. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own, and the mix inspired me, and so I thought that was really pretty together. Okay, one more here. They do like to flip around. No sweat, you just kind of intend them to do. There we go. And last one, sorry, I moved a little bit. Okay. And there's row 2. And so now I'm going to turn and go through the top hole of the last Superduo bead that was added. So turned and went through the top hole. Now you're going to pick up 2 Superduo beads. I'm going to switch back to my first color. If you were doing this pattern, this would be a good point to introduce a new color. So I'm going to go through the next Superduo with 2 Superduo on my line here. Like that. And 2 more. These work up so quick. Great gift giving idea. Okay. One more. And almost there. Okay, and there it is. That's row 3 done. And now it's time to bring in those size 60 beads. And so what do you guys think? I'm thinking this color. I'm torn between that and the shiny. Can't really decide, but go with the first one. Always go with your first impulse, I guess. So we're exiting from the top hole of the row 2 Superduo. And now we're going to turn and go through the top hole of the last Superduo we added. And pick up 1 size 60 bead. And go through the top hole of 2 Superduos now. There we go. There's 1. And pick up the next bead here. Again, go through 2. Go through 2 here. All right. Yeah, I'm loving this color. This is a good choice. Okay, there's that one. And this is it, guys. This is almost the whole pattern. All we have to do is add the ear loop to the top. But I will go through this one more time before we do that. There's 1 more of these. Do I have 1 more? See, I'm going through 2 all the way around. And now I just need 1 more of that gorgeous dark color. There we go. Okay. All right, so there's one done. The next step would be to build the top. I'm gonna set this one aside for now and make another one so everyone can see from the beginning one more time. Okay.
Danielle, it's Carmi.
Hey.
I just wanted to give you two questions.
Sure, yeah.
Number one, would you mind telling them again the two color super duos that you used?
Sure, of course,
And
yeah.
would you mind leaving the finished earring out in the frame so that they can see it as you're going along?
Yeah, there we go. So the colors. This one is called Apollo Gold or Gold Apollo. It really looks a lot more copper to me than gold, but it's gorgeous, whatever you call it. It's just beautiful. This is the matte blue, matte metallic blue. And you know what? I can get the SKU numbers for those. Just give me 1 second. I have it right in front of me. So this is the Micheals search numbers. If you type them in, they will come up as, okay, so this color right here is 105-49066, metallic suede blue. And this one is Apollo Gold 106-27246. And so if you have the app on your phone, you just plug them in there, apply the coupon automatically, and it's done.
And Danielle, are you doing anything different in terms of selecting which side you use, or you're just picking up the super duos as you need them?
As I need them, because they're, oh, you mean as far as which color I'm selecting?
Yeah.
So in the pattern introduces it as using color A for both rows 1 and rows 2. But because I'm teaching, I switched it up a little bit so you guys could clearly see which is row 1, which is row 2, and which is row 3. But on the other designs, I was keeping it the same in the center. Here's one that I did earlier, following the same convention in the handout. This is with the metallic suede purple. So it's the sister bead to this one, the amethyst AB, and a matte gold. That one came out really nice too. You can go a little crazy because this is so easy. You can make so many, and then you're going to want to make every single color. Speaking from experience there, I kept making them. Okay, so I'm starting over and make another one of these just so everyone can see it again. 0.006 wildfire, 36 inches or less. I think I'm doing 30 inches because you have a lot of thread left over at the end. I just don't want anyone to run short, so I always kind of overshoot the mark whenever I write up a document. And size 10 beading needles. To thread it, you want to flatten the end as much as you can with your fingernail. You can also use a chain as plier to flatten it. And try one side of the needle. If it goes through, great. If not, turn the needle the other way. See if it goes through. It'll be tight, but you'll get it to work. Pull about 7 inches or so, fold over. And this is worked on a single strand. And leaving about a 10-inch tail or so, go ahead and pick up one of the size 6 seed beads and 9 Superduo beads. Okay, and bring those down to the end, leaving about a 10-inch tail. And now turn and go through all the beads again. Okay, and that should form a ring. I'm going to get these out of the way really quick. go through the 6O bead again. There you go. You might kind of turn directions, but you should get a little circle. All right. And go ahead and go through all those beads again. And then stop when you reach the last Superduo. So here I just went through 2. I'll try to go through the next as many as I can. There you go. And go through 2 more here. All right, and so I'm exiting the last Superduo. This is my, this right here is my tail thread. Just leave that aside. All right, and pull tight. Okay. That one should be pointed out. There we go. Okay, so tail thread out of the way. I went through all of the beads a second time. And now I'm going to turn and go through the top hole of the last Superduo I added. I'm sorry, I'm going to get my tail thread untangled here. There we go. Okay. And this one keeps wanting to turn. I'm going to, here. All right, so again, I'm switching colors just so you guys can see row 2. I'm starting row 2, pick up 1 Superduo bead, go through the top hole of the next one. We're going to do that all the way around. Okay. Good, 1 more. Going through the next one. Oops, there we go. When I'm working, I actually do hold it. It's a little faster. Let me know if you guys would rather I sat it down on the mat, if that's easier to see. I'll try to show what I'm doing here. My thread caught a bead tube and it was gonna launch it there. Okay, there we go. Last one. So what I did there is I just added 1 Superduo bead in between each Superduo bead around. Next step is to turn and go through the top hole of the last Superduo you added. So going that way. Now you're going to pick up 2 Superduos, and I'm switching back to the other colors so you guys can see it. I started row 2 here, or sorry, row 3. Row 3. Keep going through. I find this really fun. It's kind of meditative the way they lock. Each of the beads just kind of locks into place. And I'm already thinking about what color do I want to make next? Also, when I get to this time of the year, I really love a quick project. And this is definitely that. Okay, there you go. All 3 rows. And now we just need to switch to 6 seed beads, size 6 seed beads. And I'm going to bring out we exited from this Superduo. We're going to turn and go through the top hole of the last one we added. Yeah, I saw the question there. You're going through the same hole of the last bead you added. So we came through this bottom hole, and then we went through the top hole of the one on row 2. Now I'm coming out of the top hole of the row 2 Superduo bead and going into the top hole of the last row 3 Superduo bead I added. And now picking up a size 6 seed bead and going through the top holes of 2 Superduo beads. I'm going to keep going. Pick up a 6, go through the top hole of 2. And go around. Go through the top hole of 2. And I want to show you guys something really quick while I'm here. Let's pretend for a second you wanted to add a second fan. Instead of adding a new size 6 seed bead here, go through that one. If you go through this one, and then go through these next 2, that's all there is to it, to creating the joined fan version. That one little step is it. And then you have to untangle your thread, but there we go. I've got a little tangle there, guys, sorry. It makes it hard to see, but I'm gonna pull that out. Okay. Undoing my fan there. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this one in the original way. Okay, so one more size 6. And one more there. Okay, just one more to go. Okay. So that's the second fan done. So now I'm going to move these beads aside. We won't need these sizes anymore for this earring. I'm going to bring out the size 10s. This is the Sleeping Beauty turquoise. Okay, and so if you're using 10s, you'll want to pick up 13. If you're using 11s, add 2 to that count. Pick up 15, and you'll have a little more length there. It'll be the same length. What we're doing now is we're adding this part. Okay, so I have 5 on the needle. I'm going to add 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to add 3 more. Okay, bring that down. And we're going to pick up 1 Superduo bead, go through one side, tighten that down, and pick up 4 more size 10s, turn and go through the other hole. And don't worry too much about how tight that is right now, because we will reinforce that connection. Okay, pick up 13 more, or 15 if you're using 11s. Okay. And now I'm going to go, so see how we're exiting here from the top hole of the row 3 Superduo bead, the last one we added. I'm going to mirror that on this side and go down through this one. Everybody see that? Oops, there we go. Okay, so the next step here is going to be to go through the 6, the 2 Superduos, the 6, the 2 Superduos, all the way around. And we're going to go back all the way through up here, around and down, and then weave it into the work. And I am going to tie a knot. I'll show you guys how to do that really quick. So if you're using a size 10 beading needle, if you're noticing it's a little tight to get through, you can bend the work like this. You see how I'm bending it? It'll make it easier to get the beading needle through. When Superduos are close to each other, next to each other, they kind of get challenging to push needles through, especially after 1 or 2 thread passes. So that's just one little trick I thought I would share in case that helps anybody. But you'll find that first pass will be no problem. It's that second pass that. But tight is good in bead weaving. Okay, just keep going through all the outside or reinforcing that. Okay, so now I'm coming through that last 6, the last Superduo bead here. Okay, and now I'm going to go through all 13 of these, all the way up through the Superduo, exit there. All right, go through here and go down through this side. Other side of the Superduo, so the other hole. And then through as many of the seed beads as you can get through. For me, it's going to be 1, it looks like. And keep going through the rest of them. All right, and I'm there. Now I'm going to go through the Superduo bead. Go through the size 6. And go through 2 more Superduos. And here's where it starts to get tight. Just bend it like that, and it'll go through. Okay, 1 more. Okay, half hitch knot. To tie a half hitch knot, your thread's exiting the Superduo there. And why I'm doing that after a Superduo and not after a 6 is the 6, it's got a big enough hole that the knot would just come back through it. But the Superduo has gotten so tight here that this knot is not going to backtrack that way. So come through behind the thread. See how there's thread here? If you guys can see that. I'm under the thread. I pull through. Go through that loop. And pull tight. So you see that knot is going to sit on just on the inside of that Superduo bead. And let's see, go through 1 more. Go through 2 more Superduos. There's 1. There's 2. All right, go underneath that thread, go through the hoop. That's the second half hitch knot. Go through the 6 and trim. And that's all there is to it. You have an earring. There is some tail thread to think about. Coming over here to the tail thread. To weave that in, you'll thread your needle. I'll do that really quick and show you guys.
Danielle, will you put the needle in frame?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. And again, what I did there is I flattened it. I flattened it between my fingernail and got it through the needle, but just kind of by turning the needle until I got the side that takes the thread better. Okay, so I'm exiting from the size 6 bead here. This is the tail thread we left in the beginning. I'm gonna go through the first bead here, the bottom hole of that first Superduo. And you'll notice it's, it's getting pretty tight here, but you can probably get through one more. And if you can, that's great. If not, you can always just knot there, but go somewhere in there. A couple of things you can do. You can tie a knot here, but I find sometimes that knot might show. It also might make your ring not look as uniform because it's going to be, there'll be a knot here and it's a space you might see. So what I usually do, and what's in the instructions in the handout, is if you turn this way, I turned and went through the other hole of that bead. So my tail thread is exiting here, and I'm turning and going through that same bead in the other direction. Okay, and now I'm going to go through the top hole of the one that's sitting above it. And if you're having any trouble getting through it, again, just try to bend the work. It will let you. Here we go, the top there. And I'm going to go through this one. Turn and go down through this one. Down through here. And you see I'm just weaving in, following that same thread path from before. And that tightened up the top as well. And now here would be a good place to knot, here or in the next step. So to knot somewhere that's not on the edge, you can see where one thread is, go down through on the other side of it, come up on the other side, go through your loop, and pull tight. And I'll do that one more time. And I'm going to go through one more bead. Go through one more bead. Oops.
Danielle, this is one of the few times you've ever shown a knot.
I know. But there's just not very much real estate here. It's a small project without a lot of thread path. And so, it helps. And it's something that if you had to remake it, you wouldn't try to repair it, you would just remake it. Okay, and that was the last knot. Okay, and then just trim by putting the pressure of the scissors down and pulling up on the thread. And there you go. And so we still have a good amount of time here. Would you guys like to see the top version of this? It's only different in that, do you see on this one, you would take your ear wire and you would open the ear wire and put it directly onto the top of that. On this version, you use, instead of a 6 here, you use 2 seed beads, 2 small ones, you make a bridge, and then use 2 jump rings for either a 2 or a 3 fan configuration. I think we have time to show you guys making this thing. So unless anyone has a different idea, I think I'll just start doing that. We'll set this one aside. And,
yeah. I definitely wanted to know how you put the ear wire on.
Oh, okay, sure. Why don't I just show that really quick? I'm using chainless wires. And on here, these ear wires have, I'm gonna grab a new one actually. And for ear wires, you can use anything you like. These are really nice. I love this color. But I'm going for more copper right now. So I'm feeling antique brass for that. So that came in, I'll show you the pack I got that in. Micheals sells these like combo packs. You get like a stainless looking matte, and you get gold, and then you get this AGP color. I really love the AGP, so I'm gonna go antique gold plate. Go with that. Okay. So they have a loop. The loop is open on the inside. You guys can see that or not, but Just take your chain and pliers and bend that way, laterally opening that. So I went like that. Top loop onto the ear wire there and close it the same way you opened it. And if it got a little separated, you can use your chain and pliers like this to just kind of flatten it down. There we go.
Pretty
fun. I'm definitely going to be wearing these later. I love this color. Is just, I like it. Okay, so there's version 1. And let's see. Okay, so it's 3:43. Do you guys want to see if we can marathon through one more? It's possible.
Danielle, maybe you could show everyone how you would work. You've already demonstrated it twice, so it's great for them to know that once they've made 1 or 2 of these, they're going to be able to do a whole bunch really quickly. So it'd be nice to see you working.
Yeah, and then I'll slow down at the part where I do it differently, which is just the very first step. And I'll explain that again. And also there's a diagram in the handout that shows you guys the difference between version 1 and 2. But so this is going to be a bottom fan because it's got a 6 here. But the top fan on a multiple version has 2 size 10C beads instead of that 6. So you can get a jump ring around it. And I mean, you could do this version and hang a bunch of fans on it, totally. It'd just be really long. But it would also still be very awesome. So you can totally do that if you want to. The version I'm doing now is the top fan. So pick up 2 size 10s and then 9 Superduo beads. Okay. And pull those down, leaving a 10-inch tail. Oops. Did you guys see what I just did there? They escaped. Yes, I'm beading with no needle here. Now would be the time to mention that I'm incredibly nearsighted.
Oh,
secret is out. All right. So I'm going through here. All beads, go through all of them again. Okay. Pull tight. Go through all the loops one more time. When I'm working, I actually pick it up, sort of pinch it so they all stay flat. And you'll get a tighter fit that way for that first ring of beads. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, exit the last one. So you see what we have here. This is my tail thread. I'm getting it out of the way. This is my working thread. And it's exiting the inside hole of that last Superduo bead. Turn and go through the top hole. And then pick up 1, go through 1. Do that all the way around. Here. Go all the way around. Oops, there we go. Okay, 1 more after this. I'm almost there. Okay. If I have enough of this blue, I might have to get more out, but so I'm gonna turn and go through the top hole of that last bead you added. Pull tight. Pick up two. Go through one. And two more. And go through one. Oops. Oh, I'm short two of them. I need to open a new tube. You guys tell I love this color. There we go. Okay, two more. And go through that last one. All right. Turn, go through the top hole of the one we just added. And then pick up a size 6 seed bead and go through the next two top holes of row 3. There's that. All right, one more. Okay, now here's the fun part. I showed this before. It got a little tangled, so happy to show it again. Normally, I would have woven in the tails and the working thread on these guys here. I didn't do that yet, so just pretend that I did. And go through the 6 here. Oops, sorry guys, I'm set off camera. Go through the 6 here. It will lock into the center of those two if you go through this one and the next one. And there it is. 2 fans together there. And then you just pick up another bead and finish the rest of that row just like we did on the other ones. And one more. Okay, this is the last one. And I don't want you guys to have to watch me weave in thread again, but normally, you know, each of these would be woven in. So you would take and go down through and tie a knot after the Superduo, go through the 6, tie a knot after the Superduo, go through 6 and trim, and do that for each of those. And then you would just need to add 2 jump rings to this part, to the top here. And the reason I did that is in ear wire, because of the direction that it's facing, it would end up sideways if you only had 1 jump ring. It would be hanging sideways on your ears. So 2 just makes it stay facing forward, if that makes any sense.
It does. Danielle, people are wondering how many Superduo vials will they need to complete all 4 projects this month? If
all 4 projects?
All the classes.
Yeah, so those 4 originals I made, let's see, how big are these bead tubes? These are 24-gram tubes. I still had leftovers from both of my tubes when I made this project originally, and that was after making 2 versions of the earrings. So I made one like this, a pair, and one like this, which just had 2 fans. And then I made a bracelet, a necklace, and a pendant.
So it's safe to say if they find their 2 favorite colors, they'll be able to get through all 4 classes.
Yeah, exactly. The only suggestion I would make is if you're using a mix and you want to use just one of the colors from the mix to go around, like I was being really particular. I wanted the dark copper. Get 2 tubes of the mix because you want to make sure you don't run short of that one color that you're going to be really drawn to and want to use. But other than that, yeah, you can get through this project with just 1 tube of 10. You're gonna barely use any 10s, and you'll just need 2 tubes, or you could have a third color if you wanted.
I can see the projects behind you.
Okay, so let's talk about the next week. So next week there is an Art Deco necklace. Trying to make it so you guys can see the chain. I love making these chains where each of the size 6 beads has a 10 in between it. So it's a really flowy, nice chain. And I can put this back on the camera here just to show it a little bit better and put it on the flat camera. Switching back.
You're great for time.
I'm great for time? Okay, cool. I'd like to pull these off the board. I put them on here to display. It's really cute. But, so this is next Tuesday, the 15th at 5 Central. It's Art Deco. It's really almost very similar to how we started today's project. The only difference is we have extra rows. And we did something at the beginning. Instead of starting with 9, you start with 13. And some of them become up beads, like in peyote stitch. So you end up with 3-dimensional effect. So you see those up beads here on the side? You can build what looks almost like a flower, the center of a flower onto it. But it just had like a roaring 20s look to me. That's the vibe that I got when I saw it. And I put a charm at the end. It was really fun. This is another project where we'll make a whole one in the class. So you won't have to, see it in part. You'll see it from start to finish. And should I show the ones after that, or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. So then the week after that, switching to the pendant. This is a 3D pendant. It's like a little puffy star. I made it reversible. One side's forest green and lava. That's the name of that red. And then just a matte gold with the lava. You can put this on ball chain or suede. I made this cord using some of the suede at Micheals, and I put cordons on it, and just kind of a neat idea that you can, and how this is made. It is made in 2 pieces. So you make it a lid and you make the bottom, and then we stitch them together. It's a little 3D puffy star. And so then last but not least, button bracelet. And so this is just herringbone using Superduo beads. And this pattern is optional. You could use all 1 color, you could use just 2 colors. I used the apricot mix in size 8. And this is also, I should say, this is the only project where you'll need a size 8 seed bead. All the others don't need an 8, but this one does. The button is easy to make. It's really similar to how the puffy star is made. So I kind of designed these projects to build on each other. So you'll learn a new skill that'll transition. For example, next week, you'll just start to get the feeling of, hey, these are 3D, and you'll get these ideas. And the next thing you know, you're making this, and it'll make sense. And then the button will just, it'll be second nature to think, hey, this could be a button. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. That's everything.
Great. Danielle, you've had 1 or 2 people have already completed an earring during the class. So that's great news.
That's very great.
3 times. And we did want to remind people, because they are still asking, if they have 2 colors of Superduo vials, they're going to be able to do all 4 classes. So that's great. And they'll need the extra round beads that each of the projects need. So I think that's everything for the first class of your Superduo projects for this month.
I love it. There's really fun projects. I'd love to see what everybody makes. And if you tag Make It With Micheals, hashtag Make It With Micheals, I'd love to see what you create. And then anyone have any other questions? Or
the next class, same time, same place, right?
That's right. Yeah. Next time is it's 5 p.m. Central. on September 15th, which is a Tuesday, and we're gonna make the Art Deco necklace. All right, I hope I see you guys then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your evening, everybody.